So here's a word that we hear tossed around a lot these days: accountability. Making promises and then actually keeping those promises. And it wasn't that long ago I thought I had all this sorted out. I was accountable to God, I was accountable to myself, and that was all I needed. I had the good old lone wolf mindset going on, but no matter how hard I tried and however many promises I made, I found myself always slipping back into the same bad habits. And it kept up a cycle of failure. And it really sucked until I found the one thing that I had been missing this entire time, and that changed everything. So hey, if we haven't met yet, I'm Blitz, and we know that this world is awash in motivation. And guys getting up at 3 a.m., running like 10 miles, doing 1,000 push-ups, guzzling a gallon of milk, eating a bunch of raw liver, the Jockos and the David Groggins of the world, right? And when I would see this content on YouTube, I would be super motivated, right? I thought, well, hey, if they can do it, I can do it. And even if I can't do it 100% like they do it, even if I do it at 50%, I'll be good to go and I'll make great gains and get great results in the process. And so I'd be fine for a while, living on a steady drip of YouTube feeds and motivation and quotes and books and stuff like that. But I would always find myself slipping back into the same bad habits. I'd make a promise and then I'd end up breaking the promise. And I found myself stuck in this cycle of failure that really sucked. And I couldn't quite figure how to break out of it. I was the lone wolf, right? Isolated, without a pack, run down, starving, and picked off by my bad habits. And I just didn't know quite how to get out of it. I thought I had accountability. I thought I had discipline. I thought I had motivation. Thought I had all these things covered. But I kept repeating the same mistakes over and over again. And of course, we know that when you keep doing the same thing over and over again, that is the literal definition of insanity. Yeah, so that cycle of failure and then guilt, shame, and remorse just continued and continued, and there wasn't enough motivational quotes, there wasn't enough motivational books or YouTube videos to keep me on the path, and things just went on like that until I found the Warrior Tribe. And here's what I was missing. I was on the right track looking for accountability, but I was looking for accountability within. And what I really needed was accountability from a group of like-minded people. And that's what I found with the Warrior Tribe. Here's a bunch of people, they're just like me. They're not the David Groggins, they're not the Jockos. They have normal lives, families, careers, struggles, triumphs, and all that. But they were on the path to self-mastery, the path of envisioning the highest, most elevated version of themselves and then manifesting that into reality. And I really connected with that. And to be quite honest with you, I kind of got addicted to it. On those days where I woke up and I was like, hey, I don't feel like doing anything today, I would check in with the Warrior Tribe, and there was some other person out there putting in the work, from fitness to combatives to mindset to journaling to survival training, you name it. There was always somebody out there putting in that positive work and getting those gains from that effort. And then when I wouldn't show up and I wouldn't check in, there was always somebody to pop up and hold me accountable, which is exactly what I needed. The accountability caught on like a damn addiction, but it was a good addiction. And for me, having an addict mindset, addiction is good, at least a positive form of addiction. So I just really loved the whole process. And before I knew it, I was being consistent. And trust me, guys, consistency trumps motivation. It trumps willpower any day of the week, because consistency will form habits. It will form rituals, and they will become who you are. Because you are your habits, whether they're good or bad habits. They are a reflection of who you are as a human being. And now you may ask, what are the side effects to making yourself accountable to a group, to having consistency and building good habits? Well, the first thing that I saw after a short period of time was an increased level of confidence. because I was actually setting goals and then reaching those goals. And once I started doing that, I felt more grounded. I felt more present. I felt more comfortable inside my own skin. And I felt more like just being my authentic self. You know, sometimes I've had a problem before with people pleasing, with codependency, with micromanaging, with trying to control outcomes and control people, places, and things. And I started to let all of that go. I started to just enjoy the process. I started to enjoy being present in the moment, not concerning myself with the past, not concerning myself with the future and trying to manipulate that and worrying about that, and just really just enjoying life for what it was, and really embracing the concept that Nietzsche refers to as amor fati, and that is loving the fate, loving your life no matter good or bad things that happen to you, understanding that the bad things that happen to you make you appreciate the good things and can also make you stronger. So overall, I think probably the biggest side effect from all of this process of making myself accountable to a group and building good habits was true happiness. And I know that might sound cliche, but I was most happy when I was able to set an intention and reach that intention. There's like literally for me, no better feeling than conquering bad habits, than exercising mastery over myself, over my mind, which can kind of be crazy sometimes. So I would say probably overall, yeah, happiness was the biggest side effect that I got from group accountability. What do you think? Do you think that you are better off as the lone wolf, accountable to nobody but yourself or God, or are you better off surrounded by a group of like-minded people on the same path, all striving towards self-mastery, excellence, and really just imagining the greatest, highest, most elevated version of themselves and then manifesting that into reality? For me, this was a game changer. This is something I absolutely needed in my life, and I think that's something that is really missing when people talk about accountability. They don't really ever talk about it that much in the group context. And maybe for some people, accountability to themselves and to God works out really good. But I've seen in my experience for myself and many other people, making yourself accountable to a group of like-minded people is just like the magic sauce to manifesting all your goals into reality. So if you're interested in what I have, if you're interested in some group accountability and meeting like-minded people, making new friends, and learning new things, then go down there in the pinned post and the description. There is a link to the Warrior Tribe, and I hope to see you there. Now, with that being said, I do have to tell you guys, none of this works unless you're willing to take action, unless you're willing to work it. So, you know what they say, work it because you're worth it. Thanks a lot for support, and I'll see you in the next one.